Hello, my name is Gail Garza, and I'm here to talk to you about cross-curricular remediation for ELA. Remediation is simply reteaching a subject area. In the beginning of the school year, most teachers and pretty much everyone reteaches what students learned because in the summer, sometimes you might lose it. But you want to build on that knowledge that they have. So you check for prior knowledge and then you reteach if you need to reteach. You do not reteach the exact same way. You're going to reteach a little different because if you teach exactly the same way and 80% of your students didn't get it the first time and it was just a lecture, then you might want to try a hands-on project or maybe becoming creative with how to teach the information so that the students grasp it and are more engaged with learning. Differentiation is slightly different. Differentiation is tailoring your lessons to the students' individual needs. So you have students in your classroom and differentiation might be just the environment. So some students putting a light cover over the lights might help them in the environment. I know with ADHD students, those fluorescent lights are not very helpful. So using simple light covers can make the environment of the classroom more inviting, or preferential seating, or even just using colored organizers or graphic organizers. So when you color code stuff, it might be easier for some students to be able to find and spot instead of wasting time trying to get to this area. Then there's intervention. Oh, well, differentiation. One more thing about differentiation. Differentiation is grade level teaching. The teacher's teaching on a tier 1 grade level teaching environment. Then there's intervention, which you still teach grade level tier 1 information to the students. They're there for the entire lesson, and then at some point you pull a small group, usually about 3 to 5 students, for 30 to 45 minutes, and you generally would use tier 2 teaching information to teach them. And that could be like doing a benchmark assessment on the students to figure out exactly where they're struggling with the topic area. You use tier 2 to also figure out if a student might need special education resources instead of just what you can provide in your classroom. But sometimes you could use tier 2 and work with the student in small groups, and they'll catch on better to the topic, and they're able to go back to tier 1. It just really depends on the student and their individual needs. Now, cross-curricular teaching for reading, well, that's sounds like it could be hard, but it's actually quite simple. Studies Weekly is a app that our school district uses where I'm from, and it provides videos and it provides reading articles that the students can read and take assessments on. There's questions at the end of the articles, and there's interactive stuff that they can do, which is fun for the students, and they're still learning. Then there's science. In science, you could use Kahoot to create comprehension questions to find out if the students understand what they were taught in science class. But it can be fun because Kahoot could be like the whole class playing games. You can level the questions and set up multiple games if you really needed to, so that students aren't left out Um, in math, you could use word problems. And in word problems, you can separate them, show them how to find the specific information that they're looking for in the word problems, teach them to highlight areas or underline and circle key details so that it's easier for them to understand the word problem and find what they're looking for to get the answers. You can use reading, science, and math, social studies. You could use them in all subject areas. I mean, a good thing to do assessments would be exit tickets. And you can use an exit ticket on every subject. I mean, exit tickets are endless. You can do DOK questions and have them write in their journals. And that could be done on social studies, science, and reading. You can check for understanding. With students with exceptionalities, highlighting information for highlighting key vocabulary terms throughout the passage and teaching them to highlight will be helpful. Providing word banks for them for frequently missed questions. I know in our school, a lot of people go to in-class support, and they get to go into a gen ed setting, and there'll be special education students. Well, it's important that you tailor lessons where they can be included, because inclusion is very key in our education process. But if you look throughout YouTube and Kahoot, and there's stuff like Brainzy, IXL for math. Our students actually use IXL, and they use it from special education on up. I mean, all through the school campus, K through 5th. Actually, I don't know if they have. Yeah, they do have kindergarten. But IXL asks students questions. It has a button where it'll read to them. They can read to themselves. They can answer the questions and then move on. And the teacher can tailor the questions to their ability. So there are many programs and there are many things that can provide an inclusive classroom for all students, no matter their need. The whole thing of cross-curricular remediation in ELA is that it's important to have students research stuff. It's important to have students guided through their educational process with the equipment and tools that they need to encompass their goals. The key thing to remember is no matter who you are and no matter where you're at, you are able to learn something. And we need reading throughout our lives for everything we do. Cooking, cleaning, everything. And reading helps you because you don't want to mix stuff like bleach and alcohol together, because then it'll smoke and it's bad for you to breathe in. So it's important to learn, and it's important to grow. I hope you have a blessed night.